disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley, Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
Cool. I'm chilling. If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Tuesdays, you have CTE, Chris, Carlos Tyranny, Travis Experience. I had to fix it some way, man. You know, on Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, Angel, and Mike. And on Thursdays, you can get the inside scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Fellas, it's showtime. What's up, guys?
What's up? What's going on?
What's up?
So, how was your weekend? Go ahead, Joe. You said you told me in pre-show you said you had something to talk about.
Yeah, I do. I'll keep it short. So Sunday morning, because I work midnight, so I go to sleep a little later. But Sunday I woke up about 9 a.m. Bunch of fire trucks, kind of like at the bottom of a ravine that goes in my backyard. So like on the street and stuff.
Okay.
And I wake up and there's like a rolling brownout in my house. Like the some stuff's off, some stuff's on, stuff's flickering. Mm-hmm. And come to find out, we had a down power line close by. So DTE came by and they turned off the power about 3 hours later and turned it back on 20 minutes later. Everything was fixed. So thank God. But I got no internet.
Oh.
So, I'm talking to Comcast. They say they're fixing it. Of course, it took a minute. They said it was all fixed. I still got no internet. So someone came out today. That power situation fried the line to my Comcast cable.
Oh, wow.
It actually melted it, melted the fixture.
I never heard of that before.
Me neither. So you can see like a line where where it actually the current went through and cut the whole thing off. So that was the issue. So Comcast had to wait for DTE to come out, inspect everything, make sure it was safe, and then they fixed it today about 2:00 finally. So I'm all good.
Oh, so you're just getting internet? Yeah,
I just had internet. Went back to sleep, a little bit, and the kids for the last couple of days had to go to my parents' house for the internet to do school, and my wife's a teacher, so. She had to go teach over there. So we're good now, but man, I've never seen anything like that. It was crazy.
Oh man. Took you back to the 90s living without internet, huh?
Oh. So like you saying that you didn't have internet, for our fans out there, I'm not trying to be graphic. I don't know why, but my mind just went to this. Like, you know how lonely it must have been to go to the bathroom?
Oh man.
Nowadays, you need your phone when you're in there. Like, God forbid, you leave your phone outside and you already started, it's over. There's nothing you're doing.
How about you, Angel? How was your weekend, man?
My weekend was good, man. Honestly, it was a good weekend. A lot of training. For the people out that know, it's winding down. My camp is about to finish. On a real note, I'm kind of just happy. Because I've been not stressed out, but just, when you're in that fight camp, it's a different world. So, I'm a little bit more aggressive, a little bit just on edge all the time. So, my weekend was good, though, man. Got my good training in, and just I can't wait till next week, man.
Okay, cool. To me, man, it seems like the weekends go by too fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you
all
look
the time.
up and it's over, man. My weekend was pretty busy, man. Myself, so constantly doing stuff, driving all over the place, visiting people, going to different events and things, and then you look up and it's like Sunday night and it's time to get ready for work and all over again, So.
I'm not gonna lie. We're not gonna get off topic, but I'm just gonna put this out there. I think we should adopt the Madrid, Spain, the whole entire their work schedule: Monday through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're off. I really,
I'm with that.
I really need to do that.
I had a schedule like that at one of my old jobs where we did 10 hours, 4 days, 3 days off. The production was better. Everything was better. You just felt better. It was good. It was great.
Yeah, you must have been happy because then you just know when Sunday night comes, you just know I'm working only 4 days. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it was no big deal. Those 10 hours go by quick.
Yeah, so.
All right, so let's jump into this movie. The Next Karate Kid. That's on our agenda tonight. Man, we're going to try and get through this movie the best we can. I think we're finally going to be all agreeing that this movie is not one of the best movies you could watch. There's other things you possibly could do with your time than watch this movie. Angel, now you have said you've seen this movie before, right?
So, yeah, I saw this when I was younger a few times, actually. I saw it a few times. Now, when I was younger, it looked way better.
I said the same thing. I said 100%.
I don't know. Again, like we said, like as we get older, our mind changes. So I guess, like, I found myself so critical of this movie. Now, I don't know. I could be biased. I could have been more critical on this movie just because of the fact that it didn't have the original cast. I'm weird like that. When I see someone introduced to me as like a father in like a TV show, I don't ever want him to change. I want him to stay the father. If you change, to me, I don't even want to watch the show because I'm like, oh, that changed the whole dynamic. I don't want to see this no more. So I'm very like weird like that. But
no, I'm the same way. I really am. And, you know, some people give me crap for it, but I'm okay with that. But I really went into this with an open mind. And I said to myself, you know, the other two guys already dogging it. I already know, like, I'm going into it. So I'm going to try and be, like, the one to defend it. But let me tell you, man, I can't do it. I can't. Like, there's just too much that I couldn't even defend if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to really dig deep into my Mike Morris or Jeffrey Feiger bones or something. Because I'm telling you right now, like, it's hard.
So this movie, to me, it kind of seemed like the type of movie that would have been made for TV. It didn't seem like a movie that would have been released in the movie theater, and it was released in the movie theater. But it just seemed like it would have been on NBC on some Saturday night or something like that.
Not even. This was more of like a Hallmark movie. I'm sorry, but
you know what? Those Hallmark movies and Lifetime are pretty popular, man. I don't think,
but there's not enough of a love story.
Yeah. There isn't a love story in this, really, is it?
No, not really.
Yeah, this is. I was telling Joe in the pre-show, Angel, before you jumped on that the acting is what I think. The acting is what made this movie even worse than the story to me, because it seemed like everyone was overacting. It's like they told you guys, okay, you're the bad guys, now be the bad guys. And you know how if you're doing a demonstration or doing a play or something, and people are trying to overact as how bad they are. That's what it seemed like with the bad guys, the heels in this movie to me.
Yeah.
And
we used to do that with karate skits, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So you overacted it on purpose to to show the karate off.
Yeah,
so watching a bad demonstration. Bad demo.
This is the worst demo. It's just not a bad. This is the worst demo. Let's jump into it and let's knock this film out. Okay, so. This movie is in Boston, and Mr. Miyagi, actually, he is the only person, in my opinion, who acted normal, who did a good job as far as acting. So he goes to a ceremony where he is being awarded, not only him, but all Japanese Americans for their heroism in World War II. So they're getting an award for that, and they're being honored. And there, Mr. Miyagi, he sees his friend's wife, and they bond and reconnect. And she invites him over to her house for dinner.
Boy, that boy better start paying.
So now during dinner, he's sitting there and he's talking, he's reminiscing, and they're talking about his old friend. And the granddaughter comes in. Her name is Julie. And Julie has a very bad attitude.
Horrible attitude.
Yeah. She came into the house and her grandmother said, this is Mr. Miyagi. He was friends with your grandfather. She didn't even want to speak. She walked away at first and then came back and said hi. And I instantly thought when Mr. Miyagi and the grandmother were talking that this girl, she has some serious mental issues and she probably should have gone to therapy. I mean, I understood why. Like both of her parents,
of course,
her parents passed away. Did they ever say how they passed? Car accident? Yeah. Okay. Car accident. So it's understandable, but in real life, I really can't say it. From my point of view, I think in real life that should have brought her closer to her grandmother.
Yeah, I agree. I said the same thing. Like, they should have bonded over that, and the fact that at least she has someone to take care of her, and they can talk about that. But instead, they're screaming and hollering at each other every day.
Yeah, and I mean, and I don't know if the grandmother is just super critical of her, because she kind of says something later when Mr. Miyagi is talking to her based on the incident that happened, and she said, like, "Are you going to yell at me like my grandmother?" And he doesn't. He handles her better than the grandmother does. Now, this part instantly, the very, very, like, we are literally in the first 5 minutes of this movie, and we see the conflict between Julie and her grandmother. Mr. Miyagi tells her, well, why don't you go? He tells the grandmother to go water some flowers. And she says, what? And he says, in California. So Mr. Miyagi is going to send the grandmother to his house in California and let him stay and take care of the granddaughter, Julie. That made no sense.
Made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Now, Mr. Miyagi wants to play fixer, but who is he to butt in? He don't even know this girl.
Exactly. That's my main point. Like, who would ever, why would the grandmother say, okay, I know you don't know my granddaughter, but go ahead, spend a few weeks with her, and watch after her.
She just trusts Mr. Miyagi that much, or she just wants to get the hell out of there.
She was tired of her too.
Listen, parents need to break also, man. You gotta cut her some slack.
I get that. Don't get me wrong, but to a complete stranger?
Yeah, that's weird. That's.
We see Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi,
you're my boy. Like, spend some time here for a couple of days, maybe, and then we'll talk about it.
We've seen Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi is smooth. That man can sell dirt in the desert. He don't know dirt in the desert. He somehow will sit here and tell you, no, I don't want a I don't want a bonsai shop. And then we'll say, okay, I take the bonsai shop. Man, that man is smooth.
So, I would have thought that the grandmother would have said, like, oh, thank you for offering. But no, but you can stay here with us, and maybe help me out. That would have made more sense to me, as opposed to her saying, I'm out. I'm flying to California. I'm out of here. Or if he would have said, why don't you guys come out to California?
Yeah, I think that would have made more sense.
Well, even though she was in school, so let me scratch that. She was in school. This is during school time, so I guess they weren't going to. He wasn't going to take her out of school, but it was toward the end of the year of school because they had prom at the end of this movie. She runs out of the house. She just leaves. It's evening time. We don't know what time it is, but we just know it's night. And she leaves. And okay, so she goes back to school. Julie is taking care of a hawk that she found. And that just seemed weird too. Like, why would she? I know she found this hawk on the school grounds, but why would she leave it at the school on the roof? Like, why would she take it home?
I guess so. Yeah, well, maybe she thought her grandma, wouldn't appreciate that. Plus, she didn't really have anywhere at home to put it. At least there, she had an old cage that the gentleman used to take care of pigeons, I guess, is what they said.
Yeah. So she goes there, and I guess the police are notified that somebody is at the school, and they arrive, and they see her up on the roof, and they come up to talk to her, and she throws something at them and then runs off. And these police officers are the worst possible people to be police. They couldn't catch her. They were winded. Like, they actually were winded and bending over and like, come on, like, stop. They're trying to keep up with her, but they can't. And she takes off. and she runs back home. And when she goes back home, her grandmother tells her, like, I'm out of here. I'm tired of you. I can't deal with you. I need a vacation. No, she don't really say it like that, but go ahead, Adrian.
What is this, man? See, like, my whole problem when that part happened, I was like, what are you doing to the mental health of her? Like, you're not
good.
You're not making her feel any better. Like, you know, and now this behavior that has like been brought upon, you're just perpetuating it. You're making it more. Now you're making it even harder for someone to break that mold. You know, it's like anything. Like when we're at a karate school, excuse me. When you have a student, you know, he just may want some attention. That's all he wants. He just wants you to look at him and say, "Good job." That's it. Like he'll do whatever it takes to get that attention. So when you tell someone, "All right, well, I'm leaving. I'm out of here because you're too much for me." Again, not in that way, but that's the point you're driving home.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and that's basically what she said. And Julie's reaction was basically like, "Well, I don't care who's here. I can take care of myself anyway."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Mr. Miyagi takes Grandma to the airport, and they drop her off at the gate, and they take off. And Mr. Miyagi decides to take Julie to school. He's trying to talk to her and get her to open up, but she wasn't having it. She didn't really have anything to say to Mr. Miyagi. And that was pretty much the end of the beginning of the movie, the very first part of the movie, which I don't know. It was just weird, you know.
It was very weird.
So she gets to school and she does not go to class. She's skipping class. Like she actually hadn't been to class in weeks. She just goes there and she kind of hangs out in, I guess, wherever she can, either on the roof or one of the rooms where she just got caught in at the beginning of the movie. Looks like it might have been like a science lab or something because there were a lot of plants and things around. And I guess the leader of the bad guys, the Alpha Elite, Ned, this guy was extremely creepy. Like he was borderline harassing her.
He was straight up harassing her.
Okay, there you go. He was straight up harassing her, and just the way that he was talking, he wanted to go out with her. He wanted to take her to the docks. He was grabbing her. He wasn't smooth with it at all.
Oh, he's very forceful.
Yeah. And what's the point to these guys? Alpha Elite, you pretty much are hall monitors. You have no.
But they're trying to make it sound like they're this elite idea in this school, and that's what they're known for because we have this military guy who's teaching military things and these students who are upholding the law at the school. But as we seen, they were just creating bullies.
Sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
Just a little bit.
Oh.
So the leader of the group of hall monitors, this guy, his name is Dugan. He's Colonel Dugan, right? And this guy, it was like you said earlier, Joe. It was like they told him to be like John Kreese, and he just took that and turned the knob all the way up to 1,000.
100%.
He was ridiculous. And you know what I think? I think him and John Kreese know each other. I think it would be interesting if this is the guy that he ends up calling at the end of of Cobra Kai Season 3.
Nah, man, you know who he called.
I do know who we think, and everybody think he calls Terry Silver. But what if that was the swerve? This guy is also a military person. He's also a colonel, just like John Kreese. And that would be an interesting swerve, especially if they want to bring Julie into the Cobra Kai universe.
That's true.
If they want to do that, they will lose fans and they will lose me as well.
Well, I mean, I'm quite sure. I mean, this movie came out in '94, man. So it's been a few years. Hopefully, this guy has changed and is a better. As a matter of fact, I've seen him in other movies.
No, it's just that he was in a bad role.
Yeah. He had some bad direction. So, this guy, he tells Ned, Ned and Dugan take Julie to the principal's office. And, this guy was, overruling the principal. He was like, nah, if she does this again, she's out of here. And the principal was trying to give her some leeway. He said, no, we can't.
See, I had a problem with that because, one, your
security guard. You're a security guard.
Guards were lying. they said she was smoking when she was skipping class. So let's get her for that. But
it's time. I got 45 minutes.
All right.
Go
Take
ahead.
off time.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so how are you? Who's running this school? We got the tail wagging the dog at this point.
You all right, Angel? All right, let's keep it on. So Dugan tells her to go back to class, right? Now, he points out to another one of his guys, this guy named Eric. Now, Eric is part of the Alpha Elite, but he's not in as deep as everybody else is, right? And, oh, yeah, I'm good, Angel. I'm good. All right, excuse us. We had a little side conversation. Anyway, he tells Eric to take Julie to class.
Well, she made a comment, I might get lost on my way to class.
Yes, that's right. So he sends Eric with her. And Eric takes her, he's talking with her. He's trying to get to know her a little bit. And she's still being mean to him also. She goes into the bathroom. He's waiting. And then Ned approaches once again. And Ned, he kind of act like he kind of knew who Eric was, but didn't. He said, oh, you're McGowan, right? He said, yeah. He said, you took Julie Pierce to class. Were there any problems? He said, no. And then he said, remember, she's mine. Like, how would he know that?
Yeah. It sounded like they were just meeting for the first time.
Exactly. For real. So he looks, after Ned walks off, he looks into the bathroom. Julie's gone, but the window's open. So he follows her out the window, goes up and sees that she's on the roof. And she's up there once again with the hawk. Now Eric knows that she has a hawk on the roof. I thought this was the beginning of the day. But they leave. Yep. He's going to work. Eric is going to work. So I was a little confused at that also, because I thought this was the beginning of the day. She leaves with him also. She's trying to actually ask him not to tell about the hawk. I'm sorry. No, that's not what happened. He didn't leave just then. He goes onto the field with the rest of the Alpha Elite. And I don't know. It's like they're doing some type of training or something outside.
The Raging Bull training. This was terrible.
Yeah, they're standing around. Dugan is barking orders at them. And the first time I saw this over the summer, I didn't know what was going on because I didn't understand what their purpose was. Like, what because they're on a football field. I was like, are they a football team? Are they security guards?
They're hall monitors.
That's it.
But
exactly.
They're taking it to the extreme.
They're just a lesser version of what Cobra Kai is. That's all.
Yeah, but the Cobra Kai didn't have any authority or in the school. Like, those guys were just hanging out. They were just students.
Listen. Cobra Kai didn't need to have no authority in the school. They had authority in the streets. You respect that, okay? Whatever that dude is doing in the streets, you don't want that problem at school because that means he's just going to beat you in front of more people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So this guy, Dugan, it's like he's showing off. Because he's telling the kids to attack him. They're attacking, and he's defending himself, and he's flipping them around. He's slamming them down. He's getting them in different holds. He tried that with Eric also, and Eric didn't want any parts of it. He didn't want to, he didn't want Dugan to show off on him. And Dugan wants him to come out anyway, and he does, and he gets ready to put him in a hole, and then he eventually releases, and Eric socks him in the face.
We got him good too.
Yeah,
all sounds so familiar. Just putting it out there.
And that pissed him off. That pissed off Dugan when that happened. Now, also watching all of this take place is Julie. She is in the distance, leaning up against the bleachers. She's watching. Also, Mr. Miyagi arrived because it's the end of the day, and he told Julie when he dropped her off at school that he was going to pick her up at 3:00. And as things are escalating on the field, Mr. Miyagi decides to step in. You guys got anything to say about that?
Well, Mr. Miyagi's smart. He comes in, he asks about Julie, even though he's trying to de-escalate this whole situation. And of course, Dugan, he don't like that. but you know, he's not going to do nothing about it yet because you know he thinks Mr. Miyagi's just an old man.
Yes.
Mr. Miyagi, he's very smart, man. I feel like this may sound like a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel like he only goes to situations he knows he's gonna win. Like he wouldn't put himself in a situation where he's like, nah, I can handle myself. I'm good.
I don't know, man. Mr. Miyagi is a gambler. I learned that from this movie. He is a gambler. He gambles. I mean, he's gambled all 4 movies. He's gambled. He's gambled on.
All right. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like his reasoning for his decisions are not the best.
Oh no,
his decisions are terrible. I mean, morally they're wrong, but they're just like the way he thinks. You almost want to be like that. It doesn't work that way.
It started to piss me off when I was watching this movie.
Oh, 100%.
Because I was like, okay, Mr. Miyagi, you don't have any problems with fighting in the streets.
Yep.
But you have a problem with tournaments. That it seemed like it should be the reverse. You should have a problem fighting on the street and not have a problem with tournament competition. You know, because anything can happen on the streets. And you let Daniel fight for his life. You know?
He wasn't given much of a choice for that, but yeah.
Man, do you see how many Okinawans that was in that little castle? They all could have rushed Chosen, and that could have been the end of Chosen.
He had a knife. Do you know he would at least took out at least 5 people?
That's 5. That's 5. That's only 5. They would have. Everybody else would have got him. And Chosen could have spent the rest of his days in the Okinawan jail. You know, and that would have been the end of it, you know? Anyway, let's get back to this movie. So Mr. Miyagi actually saved Eric from, you know, getting beat up even worse than what he was. And we see a problem developing between Mr. Miyagi and Dugan. Later on, we see Julie approach Eric about what happened. She's still begging for him not to tell anybody about the hawk. She doesn't want to lose that hawk that's on the roof of the school. So he does not give her an answer. So she just jumps in his car. He said, all right, I'm going to work. And she just rides with him to work. And I was thinking, like, what is she thinking? Like, she doesn't know how far he's going. She doesn't know how she's going to get back. He told her he was going to work. So obviously he's not going to take you home. She was pretty much stuck at the train yard because that's where he worked.
Yeah, it was like, what are you doing? Not only that, but why is he already knew he wasn't going to say nothing.
Yeah.
But he just kept, you know, basically like, I don't know what I'm going to do. What you want me to do?
You know what was funny about that? This is their first time really meeting each other also, right?
Yeah. The
next time they see each other, well, we'll get there in a second. I'll bring it because that was just weird to me also. So, you know, they're getting to know each other at this train yard. You know, he says that his grandfather used to work there and his dad left him. And, you know, he just kind of gives a brief little history about his life. Yeah. Let's fast forward. Julie comes home. Mr. Miyagi is there. And Mr. Miyagi wanted to know where she was after school because she wasn't there for him to pick her up. And, you know, she said, I told you I could take care of myself. He tells her that he goes and he talks to her teachers also. And Mr. Miyagi comes home with, was it 2 weeks or 3 weeks worth of work?
3 weeks. 3 weeks with homework.
Man, that's a lot of homework. 3 weeks?
Listen, man, I'm a teacher right now. I'll tell you what, that is no joke. For you to have to have 3 weeks worth of homework, that means there has to be at least 1 or 2 projects in there.
Oh, wow, I didn't even think about the projects.
Yeah. There's at least 1 or 2 projects.
You know, the crazy thing is Julie is actually going to school. She's just not going to class.
Yeah, she's there. She's like on like the site. She's just not in the classroom. That's just that. See, to me, I feel like that takes more energy. Why do that?
Yeah.
Well, she can see her friends. She can
what
go
friends?
check out well, there was a couple of times where I heard someone say, "Hi, Julie." Or,
oh yeah, you know what?
I mean, you never saw them on camera, but you know,
yeah.
She might have known somebody. but mostly just the Hawk. By the way, how did we skip the fact that the Hawk's name is Angel?
That is right. That is right. That is right.
Just saying. You made the movie.
I told you guys. When it comes to the Karate Kid series, I am sprinkled all over this. The Hawk is named Angel. And when we get to Cobra Kai, Miguel Diaz. My name is Angel Miguel Diaz. Boom.
So Julie is tired of Mr. Miyagi, and Mr. Miyagi was very, very respectable, and he was nice when he was talking to her. He wasn't mean at all. But like we said earlier in the movie, like Julie just has an attitude issue, and she kind of runs out of the house. She doesn't want to talk to Mr. Miyagi. She runs in the street, and she almost gets hit by a car. Now, when the car is approaching, she jumps up and she lands on the roof of the car. The hood of the car. And then she kind of stumbles off of it. Mr. Miyagi sees this, and he knows that she has some martial arts training. He was kind of surprised by that.
He wanted to know where it came from.
Yep, that is exactly what he said.
Yeah, he probably had a flashback. He's probably like, oh, no. She's probably going to tell me, no, there's no mercy in this.
And we find out that Mr. Miyagi's life was saved by Julie's grandfather. So what Mr. Miyagi did to repay her grandfather, he taught him karate. And evidently the grandfather taught his son, who eventually taught Julie. So Julie has some martial arts training, and she is part of the family tree of Miyagi-Do. Miyagi-Do karate. So they start to talk about her family, and Mr. Miyagi is starting to get her to open up a little bit, and he tells her what happened in the war, and the breakdown on how she know karate. Anything else?
Yeah, she likes the fact she's really interested in the martial arts because he was smart and related back to her father and the time that she got to spend with her father with that. So that was his way to connect and engage with her finally.
Yeah, I was smart. I was smart of him.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. But you know what I was thinking?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Okay,
it's not bad. It's not bad. I just know that if Mr. Miyagi was Yoda, he wouldn't have trained her. He wouldn't have trained her or Daniel.
What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yoda would not have trained because Jedi have to be they have to act a certain way.
No, hold on.
You're leaning too much towards the dark side.
Hey,
Joe with me.
For our listeners, the name of this show is going to be Gene is Reaching. That's what it is. Because I am not having none of this, man.
Man.
So, Mr. Miyagi is actually washing his car, and Julie comes to him, and she wants to learn more martial arts. She wants to get back into it. So, Mr. Miyagi has already done something better than her grandmother, and he's gotten her to open up a little bit and speak. Now she wants to go to the mall. She wants to do different things. And Mr. Miyagi is like, I'm not giving you any money. He eventually gets her a job. She wants.
Wait. You forgot. When she's talking about learning the karate, he tells her, he tries to get her to do the wax on, wax off.
Yeah. She wasn't having it.
And she wasn't having that.
She wasn't having it.
We're already seeing that what worked for Daniel is not going to work for Julie.
Exactly, but you know what? Also, Daniel didn't know that he was doing karate. Also,
exactly, but she was like, "I ain't washing your car."
Right. She just, Daniel thought that he had to do that in order to learn karate.
Yes.
And that wasn't the case with Julie.
And Julie and Mr. Miyagi, he works out his own deal because he says that he needs payment.
Yes.
She says, I don't got no money.
Right.
He says, don't worry about that. I need some homework.
Right.
He said, what did he say? 4 homework assignments.
Yeah, they kind of negotiated. They kind of went back and forth, and they didn't really get nowhere with that though.
Well, then he took that. So he took that and turned it into, okay, not only that, but I got you a babysitting job.
Yes, and this part did not have to be in the movie. Like this was because these little boys that she goes and babysits had nothing to do with any part of the movie at all. Like this could have been on the editing floor. This part of the movie was just dumb. So she goes and she babysits these boys, and these boys are bad. They're throwing balls at her. They're shooting Nerf guns at her. She can't handle it. Mr. Miyagi pops back up with a box of balls for her, and she's getting irritated with these kids. But eventually, she finds a way to handle the kids on her own. And
now you say she don't need this, but I kind of disagree because I think he's using this as a lesson, as only Mr. Miyagi can do.
No, I meant for the movie. Like, we didn't need to see this in the movie.
Well, that's why I'm getting at. I'm just saying he's trying to teach her how to control her anger. And what better way? She's not going to go crazy on 3 little boys. So he's trying to teach her how to control her anger through playing and becoming a part of something. And she eventually learns, like, I can't get angry. I just kind of got to be a part of it. And I'm babysitting these little boys. I'm going to make some money. Like she kind of got in her head that, okay, I can do this. And that way, because he told her, what did he say? Take in the sunshine and something with the grass.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the shit he said about that.
Come on!
I didn't. So anyway, like you said, like she did overcome it. She was okay after she babysat and she left, and they got to talking, and she was okay. And once again, we see Mr. Miyagi and Julie getting a little bit closer, right? Yep. She goes into her bedroom later on that night. Mr. Miyagi goes to bed. She plays her music. We saw earlier in the movie, she wakes up in the morning to loud music. So when Mr. Miyagi went to bed at night and she started playing the music, he put some earplugs in his ear so he can sleep. And when he does that, she turned the music on, but she leaves out of the house. And she goes back to the school to take care of her hawk. Now, this time when she does it, Alpha Elite are there. They're waiting on her. And this was a creepy part, too, because all of these guys just seem really, really just, I don't know, man. Like they should have some type of warrants out for their arrest.
Oh, 100%. But this whole scene was crazy because she's hiding in the kitchen like this is a horror movie.
Yes,
and
exactly.
This guy's searching for her like he's a part of Saw or something. Chainsaw Massacre. I'm just waiting for him to pick up something and try to hit her with it or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought they were going to assault her. Like it just, I don't know, man. It just wasn't. It didn't make me feel good watching this part. Like, and once again, it was the acting. Like they acted too creepy, man. I just couldn't get over how these guys acted.
Someone somewhere said, this series is taking off. We can't keep making any more movies. Let's just throw in these actors and tell them, I want you to do this kind of job. Because
give us your best creepy face.
Yeah, it's like, I felt like this movie, it takes a total turn from like what we're used to.
Oh, it definitely did.
I feel like, because of that, that's what makes it, you just look at it, you're like,
I don't have to watch this movie again. I really don't.
I'm not. I'll say, but I'm gonna say for later.
Okay. So now Julie has been chased throughout the school by Alpha Elite. She eventually sees the fire alarm. She pulls the fire alarm or hits the fire alarm, whatever. The fire alarm goes off. She eventually gets out of the school. She's running through the courtyard and she's trying to get out the fence. And then we see the police coming. We see the fire truck coming. And also Dugan is there.
Yeah, once she saw Dugan, she knew she was done.
But why? Like why was he there? Like,
Because he runs that town, apparently.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So she ends up going to jail, because Mr. Miyagi has to come and get her from the police station. And this is the first time I actually have seen Mr. Miyagi pissed. Like, he was pissed off that he had to pick her up from jail, that she snuck out, that she went to the school. If you ever watch this part again, look at Mr. Miyagi's face when he opens the car door for her and lets her in the car, and he slams the door.
He was mad. I said the same thing. I was like, "Oh, Mr. Miyagi does get mad. All right."
Yeah, like he wasn't this mad at Chosen. I'm not Chosen. Sato? He wasn't this mad at Sato.
He gave Sato a pass.
Sato wanted to kill him.
Yeah, Sato wanted to kill him.
He was like, "You know what? You want to kill me, but at least it's honorable. That's fine."
Right. So, like, she explains what was going on to Mr. Miyagi. He said, "Okay, we're going to talk in the car." And she tells him about the hawk and what she's doing. We also find out because of Dugan suspends her for 2 weeks. He just has that power to do that.
He does what he wants, apparently.
He makes the rules. You don't want to mess with Dugan. Don't let him call his friend over, because his other friend will come and tell you there's no mercy in this school.
So then Mr. Miyagi tells her, "Okay, we're going to go away for a little while. I got some place that I want to take you." And they stop. They go to the train yard the next day, and she goes up to Eric, who's there at work, and she asks him to check on the hawk and go feed the hawk for her while she's out of town. And like I said, this is the second time that we've seen them on the screen together. And he's asking her, "Are you going to miss me?" And I was like, well, like, y'all just met. Like, why would she miss you already?
Listen, he got them creepy vibes from the Dugan group.
Yeah, Alpha League. I guess so, man.
That's the only thing I can come up with, because what the hell?
Yeah. So Mr. Miyagi and Julie, they drive off. Mr. Miyagi's going to take her to this monastery where these monks are. So they're on their way there. On the way, they need to stop for some gas. This is another part that was a little weird. They stopped for some gas, and so Mr. Miyagi wanted some candy bars. Julie goes in to pay for the gas to get the candy, and there are 3 guys in the gas station, and it looks like they're just sitting around playing cards, and one of them has a Doberman, and the Doberman is barking at Julie and growling, and she's a kid. You would think somebody would have said, "Oh, let me get my dog," or "Come here," whatever the dog's name is. "Come here, let me get you." They're just sitting there laughing at her.
I think he set the dog over there.
Yeah, it's possible.
That's the way he acted, because he was mad afterwards, because he was saying, "Oh no, she's staying here with me," basically.
Yeah, so
Mr. Another creeper.
Yeah,
this whole town is just full of creepers, man.
Yeah. And Mr. Miyagi comes in because she's taking a while. The door is open, so Mr. Miyagi sees her standing in front of this dog. And Mr. Miyagi goes over to the dog and is real playful and, petting the dog and everything. And the dog calms down and it's cool. And Julie's able to walk out. And then the guys get mad. They say, "What did you do to my dog?" And he didn't do anything to the dog.
They want him to be a killer. You can't listen. You can't take that dog and turn.
He did. He said, "You turn my dog into a chicken."
Yeah, you can't do that. He can't be civilized. He's got to be a killer.
Yeah, so then he wanted to fight Mr. Miyagi because of that. This was stupid as hell. Like, this was just dumb, ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't think I. Well, yeah.
So Mr. Miyagi fights these guys. He fights all 3 of them. He beats all 3 of them up except for the gas station attendant. He left that guy alone because he really wasn't in it. And then they go on to the monastery to see the monks. What did you guys think of the monks? Anything?
I like the monks.
Yeah, I like them too.
I had one issue.
Okay, go ahead.
So here's my issue. And I was talking about this earlier with my wife. So, one, she's there. She don't really know the rules, right? So we're at dinner.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first dinner, right? She's hungry. She's really getting into this whole idea. She's got, it's like a little vacation, everything. She goes and sees a cockroach running across the dinner table.
Yep.
Okay, anybody would do this. She goes to kill it. Guy grabs the cockroach, throws it, and they all get up and they shun her.
Yes.
Then she looks at Mr. Miyagi and she says, "What'd I do?" He explains it to her. Okay, now she gets it. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get that. But he shuns her too.
Yep.
And then the next dinner, they all let her be. They all left her by herself.
Yes.
So you're supposed to be instilling self-worth and self-confidence in this girl, and you're like, "Hey, you didn't know the rules. You tried to kill a bug. Peace out. We're done with you."
And his thing was, he said, "Okay, on these grounds, they don't kill anything. I can't think of the precise words that he used, but they value life is pretty much what he was saying. Yeah, they value life in between each other. So they don't kill anything at all. Now, let's go back a little bit. This part I absolutely hate it. So they get there. It's kind of evening, right?
Yeah.
So it's the next day. The monks are hitting a bell in the morning, and she wakes up and she looks out her little window, and then she starts to run and scream at the top of her lungs, screaming for Mr. Miyagi. I thought something was wrong at first, but she was just, they're hitting a bong, and I couldn't go back to sleep, so I'm up. I'm like, I thought somebody was chasing her, somebody was doing something to her. They didn't do anything. I don't know that part. I hated that part.
That was more overacting.
Yes, that was some serious overacting.
Yeah.
Now, I think though, after that, Mr. Miyagi decides that he's going to start her training. I think he trained her better than he trained Daniel, because she's not doing any of the painting houses. She's actually doing real karate. He didn't have to break anything down to simple,
because she already had the training.
Well, so did Daniel. Daniel had a month or so.
No, she had real training. She had Miyagi-Do training already.
Okay, maybe so. So she already went through painting houses and washing cars and sanding the deck and all of that stuff. Maybe, who knows?
She could tell Daniel, "This is what you got to look forward to. Watch."
So so this scene here also, he is teaching her a new move that is going to be her move, her crane, her version of the crane. So he has her stand on one rock, and he wants her to jump to the other rock and basically jump and do a switch roundhouse kick and land on the other rock. And she's having a hard time doing that. So eventually, like I said, that is her version of the crane for this movie.
Yep.
Anything else, Joe?
Nah, they said he used the rocks as one was Japan and one was Okinawa or something like that.
Yeah.
So jump from this to that one.
Yeah, and then he's taking her. He's teaching her about being observant also.
Yep.
Because he takes her into this barn, and there's monks in there with sandbags, and they're dropping them at her. She has to be alert, and she has to be paying attention. She should have noticed that they were in there, but she wasn't. She was just talking and not really paying attention. So we see that eventually, that type of training later on, and kind of like a little montage that they do in the movie. Back at the school, Dugan is training with Alpha Elite. I'm sorry, not Dugan. Eric is training with Alpha Elite. Julie calls. She calls just to check on the Hawk. And she tells the school that she is Eric's mom and she needs to talk to him. And that was another thing. Dugan did not want him to step out of line to go get a phone call for his mom. So that's another one of those things that's like, okay, you guys are just overacting and over pushing, like how tough and mean this guy is.
Yeah. Well, his way or the highway, and he don't like being interrupted.
And he decides that he's going to kick Eric out of Alpha Elite because he stepped out of line to go talk to his mom, even though it wasn't his mom, it was Julie, just checking on the Hawk. Now, after that, pretty much, Julie is just training. Like you said, the monks pretty much shun her. It was a point where she was walking and they were all in one single file line walking past her, and they just looked away as she approached them. Like, they really gave her the cold shoulder.
Well, she should have known better.
Well, eventually, I guess she listened to the words that Mr. Miyagi says, because I didn't understand this either. Like, she's out in the field and she finds a grasshopper. She just picks it up and she just...
No. That was a praying mantis.
Okay, a praying mantis. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know my bugs. So she finds a praying mantis and she runs and she's screaming and she takes it to a monk and just shows it to him. I said, so? Like, what does that prove? That proves nothing.
Her word.
Well, the praying mantis, I think, are sacred in the Buddhist temple.
And for those
I believe.
And for those people that want to learn something else, the praying mantis is the state bug of Connecticut.
Is it really?
You know, for real, I'm not joking.
I did that. I never knew that.
Yeah. Why do you know that? Like, what? Like why is that a thing? Like, why do you?
Quick story. A praying mantis was inside of my karate school one time, and everybody went to go kill it, and I became the monk, and I said, no, if you kill it, it's actually a felony in the state, so you can't.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, Gene, next time you think about killing a praying mantis, I'll just shun you.
Yeah, I guess I'll probably get shunned because I don't be paying attention to bugs, man. I could have easily, I probably stepped on 10, 15 bugs a day and never even knew it, so. So now we see Julie. She is actually, looks like she's practicing a kata. She turns on some music and she's working out on her own, not with Mr. Miyagi. The monks come in and they like her music and they decide to dance, and they all dance together. So now her and the monks are starting to bond now also.
They're cool now. Now they're cool.
Right. Her training is going good. And eventually she starts, she does the kick and lands on the rock. She's aware of her surroundings. The monks aren't surprising her anymore. And she's doing good. Her birthday comes. She's still with the monks. They hang out. They give her a cake. And they tell her that she gets 2 gifts. One wish that she can make, and they can make it come true. And I don't know this other thing that they did. I didn't understand the
demonstration. Zen bow demonstration.
Okay, so basically somebody is going to shoot an arrow at Mr. Miyagi, and Mr. Miyagi catches it before it hits him. Like I said, he's a gambler. I would never do anything like that. But Mr. Miyagi said that was a great honor for him to participate in that demonstration. Her wish was for the monks to come visit her and Mr. Miyagi back in Boston, and they said they'll make that happen.
Side note, I know someone else that could do that too. So, if Mr. Miyagi thought he was nice, Bruce Leroy can do it, and he caught a bullet with his teeth.
There you go.
If he wants to step his game up, I want to see you gamble with that.
That trip had to be really, really good for Julie because she goes back to school with a brand new attitude. She's smiling. She's happy. Like you said, Joe, somebody said something to her off screen. Yeah, you're right. We don't see her. She just kind of waves off to the side. She's talking to her different. She's talking to her principal, and she's a different kid in the school.
Yeah.
She sees Eric. She talks to Eric, and he takes her up to go see about the hawk. When they go up there, the hawk isn't there. Eric thought that the hawk was there. He said he had just checked on Angel, and what was the guy? Ned. They end up telling Animal Control. The Animal Control comes and takes the hawk away. He said something about, I guess they were planning to kill it. That wouldn't have happened. I don't think so. No.
I think it's I don't know about the time, but it's endangered now.
No, you can't. I don't think they're even allowed to do that unless it's not picked up after 3 days or something like that.
I would have thought they would have just released it. It's a wild animal. It's not like it's a dog or a cat. Hey, they could have just released it. You know.
I mean, hey, do they kill snakes? I don't think they do. So
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But on the roof, Eric and Ned have a little scuffle. They're I guess Eric has had enough of Ned. And like I said, it was another thing. Like, this was stupid. Also, just the bad acting made this worse. Maybe it would have been better if they acted better. I don't know, and some better dialogue. It just seemed real cheesy to me.
It was very cheesy.
Mr. Miyagi ends up taking Julie to the animal shelter to get the hawk. They get the hawk out. They take it, and Mr. Miyagi tells her that it's time to let it fly away. She says he can't fly, has a broke wing, and he says pretty much let it go. Leave the damn hawk alone, girl. Move on with your life. And that's what happens. She releases the hawk. The hawk flies away, but then it comes back to her, and she said the hawk wants your blessing. Some bullshit. I don't know, man. It was stupid. It was extremely stupid. It was dumb. The hawk does fly away. Mr. Miyagi prays over the hawk. Did you see him do that? He did it.
He made sure. He had to do the
rubbed his hands.
Heel Danielson.
Yeah, and then he put his hands on the hawk. The hawk flies away, and Julie was a little sad, but she was okay with the hawk. After that, it's the prom. Julie is getting ready to go to the prom. She's going to go with Eric. Mr. Miyagi decides to go get her a dress. That was a pretty funny scene of him trying to figure out or try to explain to the saleswoman Julie's size and trying to pick out a dress for her. He eventually gets it right. And
nailed it.
Yeah, he did. And Mr. Miyagi, she kind of didn't want to go to the prom because she said that she couldn't dance. So Mr. Miyagi teaches her how to dance. So they really, really got close. He has to have been there at this point in time. He has to have been there for about 3 or 4 weeks, almost a month at this point in the movie. So she gets dressed. She decided that she's going to go to the prom with Eric. And then the monks arrive.
Yay!
They didn't waste any time, huh?
We're get out of here.
Yeah,
we're going to get out of here, and we're not going to step on one bug while we do it.
They arrive at the house the night that Julie is going to go to the prom. She gets dressed. Eric comes and picks her up. Did you see how Mr. Miyagi was looking when Eric showed up?
He had to play that part, man.
Yeah, he did.
Like, he play the crazy dad.
He was almost like Will Smith and Martin in Bad Boys. He was almost like that. Like, he had a knife. He had a serious look on his face, and he pretty much let Eric know, like, because Eric, he said, what time are you going to bring her back home? Or what time does the dance end? He said 12. He said, what time are you bringing her back home? He said 1. And he was like, what are you going to do with the extra hour?
That's a serious question. That's a serious question. Listen, my girls already know. Okay, I got 2 girls. They know when that time comes, Dad's gonna be looking crazy. Dad's gonna be out with all his weapons, guns, swords, nunchucks. I got them all, man. I'll put my headband on. You're gonna know. Anybody that wants to take my kids out, man, they're gonna have to be special because it's
right
over.
there. I'll be
Come
right
on.
there with you, Joe.
That's what I'm saying. I want all the crazy.
Yeah.
I want them to know.
Yeah,
this is what you're gonna have to deal with.
Listen. I'm telling you right now. You already know. When he said, "What are you doing for the extra hour?" You already know. In that kid's mind, he's looking. He wanted to be like, "I'm not gonna do it." That's what I'm doing.
Mr. Miyagi, he got a little emotional when he saw Julie dressed up in her dress. They decided to go to the prom and have a good time. Mr. Miyagi,
he probably got emotional. He probably wanted to take Daniel to his prom. He couldn't do it.
Oh, come on.
Mr. Miyagi decides to take the monks out. They decided to go bowling, and that was, I don't know, man. That was weird. Also,
it was entertaining.
It was entertaining, but it was just like like, I don't need this in this movie right now. Like, just get to the damn ending.
Zen bowling. Why? The ending was terrible anyway.
I just wanted it to be over. That's actually, you know what? This probably should have been the ending. The monks bowling and then end credits. Julie went to prom because actually the ending is just dumb. It's really stupid. None of it makes sense.
It really does.
Let's get into it. So the monks are bowling, and they get into a competition once again. Mr. Miyagi is going to negotiate another bet. Like, that's all he does in every single movie. And these monks
you gotta make that money, man.
Yeah.
Look at that cheese.
I forgot Mr. Miyagi does not have a job.
There you go. See?
Maybe he gets Social Security or something like that. I don't know.
Wait. You know what? Now you bring that up. Who running the bonsai shop right now?
The bonsai shop failed.
How do you know?
Because they talked about it in Cobra Kai.
Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, yeah, because Daniel had all them. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. So Mr. Miyagi, you know what? Honestly, going back to Karate Kid Part 3, like, we never saw the store even open. Because after
True.
you know, Mr. Miyagi gets that second shipment of trees, and they don't really talk about the bonsai shop pretty much after that anymore. But anyway, of course, Mr. Miyagi and the monks win bet, and they start teaching these other guys how to bowl like them. At the prom, Julie and Eric are having a good time. And now this was the dumbest part of this whole movie. Alpha Elite are there. They have no dates. For whatever reason, they're on the ceiling of the gym, like in the rafters. And they just jump off, like bungee jump off.
Yeah,
like,
no sense.
It makes zero sense. Like, why would you do that? Like, what's the purpose? Like, I can see if they jump down, they have something in their hands, like, you know.
Got to make a dramatic entrance.
But they didn't do it. Like, everybody was standing around. I think the people in the audience that was at the prom were like, "You guys are idiots. Like, why would you do that?" Because they were. Yeah, they all stopped. One guy broke his shoulder or his arm, and Eric said something to that effect. Like, look, like, you know, your boy is hurting now. Like, why would you do this? This is dumb. And Ned and Eric, you know, they decide that they're going to fight. Ned wants to go once again. This whole movie, he's been trying to get people to come down to the docks with him. And now, I mean, that's what he's been saying. That was he saying every time. So now he challenged Eric to meet him at the docks for a fight. So Eric takes Julie home. There's fighting and arguing outside of the house, outside of Julie's house, because Eric follows them when he decides to take Julie home. And
Ned follows Eric.
Huh? Yes.
Ned follows Eric.
Yes, Ned follows Eric. He busts out the windows to his car. And then he tells them to meet him at the docks. The monks go and get Mr. Miyagi. And Julie also is screaming for Mr. Miyagi. And Eric drives off after them. And then they go to the docks. Anything? You got anything, man? Anything, Joe?
No, man. You bust up my car, I'm going to run you over.
And then for some reason, at the docks, your boy Dugan is there also, not being a responsible adult. At all. He's going to let the kids fight. Eric and Ned fight, and Eric pretty much beats up Ned. I'm sorry, Ned beats up Eric. I'm sorry.
With some help.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai style. You know, hey, Gene, you like that, don't you?
I don't like these guys at all. I don't like any of these. I don't like nothing about this. This is a dumbass ending, man, for real. And then Julie, she goes over. She sees about Eric, who's down on the ground, and then Julie decides that she wants to fight Ned.
Wait! You forgot about they blew up my man's car.
I'm skipping all this shit, man. We getting to the end of this damn movie.
You busted his windows, you kicked his ass, and you blew up his car.
That was a nice car. That was a nice car that he had.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That was a nice car. and okay, so they could have left, but Julie wants to fight Ned, and Mr. Miyagi lets her fight.
That's what I said. What the heck, Mr. Miyagi's no. He's like, and her excuse was terrible. She said, "How am I going to respect myself if I can't kick his ass?"
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? And Mr. Miyagi's like, "You're right."
Exactly. Go ahead. I guess he was just like, I gambled with Daniel 3 times and won. Let me see if I can go 4 for 4.
Yeah.
So he lets her go out. He lets her fight, and she does her. That move actually had a name. I don't know what it was called. Was it the mantis? It might have been a praying mantis. I don't know, because she gets down low and then she jumps up and switches over for the round kick. And she takes him down, and then Dugan wants to fight. And Dugan decides that him and Mr. Miyagi, it's go time. They decide to fight. Of course, Mr. Miyagi wins, and that is the end of the movie. That's how it ends.
Woo! Man, that was it's like you guys strapped me to this chair. It was torture, but it's okay.
And that was the end of Mr. Miyagi too, because we don't see him anymore.
God bless his soul.
He has gone on.
He's going on and on.
So, okay, seriously, what would you guys? How would you guys grade this movie?
Why you gotta do that, man? Come on.
I would say I would give
like A, B, C, or D, or like on a scale from 1 to 10.
Let's either or, whatever.
All right, you guys go. I don't want
because if I'm gonna, I would give this movie a D. I'm not gonna say it's an F. If it was an F, I wouldn't be able to finish it at all. So I can't give it an F. So I'll give it a D, and I give it a D because Mr. Miyagi was okay. I enjoyed his role. What about you guys?
No, I'm right there. I'll give it a D. D minus.
Angel gives it an F. I know Angel gives it an F. So
for all the viewers out there listening, let's just call it like it is. Gene said he would not give it an F because an F means he couldn't finish the movie. I tried to watch this 3 times and I fell asleep every single time. So it is an F. The only person that gets a good grade is Mr. Miyagi, and that's it. I'm sorry, guys. Like I watched this movie years ago when I was younger. I watched a bunch when I was younger. Try to watch it now, I could not even finish this. This movie was killing me. I mean, I thought I did something wrong to myself.
Well, we got through it and we're done with this movie. That is it. Like I said, I would probably never watch this movie ever again in my life.
Netflix should be ashamed that it's even on there right now. Yeah,
this is not a. No. I mean, I can't even think like what would be my favorite part of the movie. Like for real, like what did I really enjoy about this movie? And I don't know.
I like the monks.
Yeah, you know what? There you go. The monks. The monks.
I was cool with the monks.
There we go.
I'll give you that.
More comic relief.
All right. So next week we got Cobra Kai Season 2. We're gonna just go through. I don't know. Listeners, we're probably going to skip some parts because it's 10 episodes and we only got an hour to talk about 10 episodes. So we're going to try and smash through everything in that hour. Do you guys need to even watch Cobra Kai Season 2 again? Are you guys going to rewatch it?
I like to rewatch it, but I've already seen it 4 times. So
yeah. It's no telling how many times I've seen it. I've seen it a bunch.
I need to rewatch it, but
okay.
Way easier to watch, and plus, I'm the co-star. Come on now.
All right, so we're gonna be back with you guys next week with Cobra Kai Season 2. You know what? Let me say this to the listeners. I'm going to say this on the post show, but also this is what I want to do. If we get 250 subscribers, that's right, I'm setting the bar high. If we get 250 subscribers, what I want to do, fellas, I want us to have a Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with drinks watch along. So we'll put the movie, we'll find a movie, we'll all log in together, we'll all watch it together, and we'll allow other people to do it also. Whoever subscribed, whoever wanted to watch the movie, and we'll go ahead and have a little dialogue and pick a movie apart, bash it or enjoy it or whatever with some drinks. And I'm talking about not one drink, and I'm not a drinker. That's not my thing. But you got to drink more than one drink.
I will gladly take my apple juice. Don't you dare.
I think you're a drinker, Angel. I think you're a drinker.
Actually, for all the people that are listening, I actually don't. I never drank before in my life.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Seriously?
Okay.
All right, we got to change that.
This is going to be interesting then. Yeah, and I want to do it when Mike is here too. So
yeah,
Mike is going to have you. Mike could probably recommend something for you, Angel.
Yeah,
I need Mike to get me some of them crown that he had. I never heard of some of those.
So also for the listeners, make sure you guys listen to the post show. I'm gonna be posting out a question out there for all you guys. Got some big things coming up for the martial arts and the network as a whole, and then for Fix, Kicks, and Flicks. So.
Also, if you're listening to us on Wednesday, they can't watch the post show tonight, Angel. So, what you guys gonna have to do is go to the martial arts page.
If you're listening to this, you already know what I'm saying. Here we go. Sorry, hey, it's been 45 minutes. My bad.
Yeah, it's starting to creep up. I feel it. It's all good though. Anyway. For Gene, for Joe, for Angel, for our director, Travis Cloud, and everybody here on the Martial Arts in the Network, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. And you guys got anything else?
I'll see y'all next week.
All right, for Cobra Kai Season 2, director, play my music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.